this is the Arduino sketch for Project 1, Objective 1. The objective is that the square-bot car robot needs to move forward, turn left, turn right, and all based on timing. We still need to include the servo.h library file to be able to communicate with the DC motors. The robot has 2 motors, and here are the variable names. DC motor right, assign it to pin 10 because that one is going to be turning the right side wheels of the robot. And number 11 is for the DC motor that is going to be controlling and turning the left wheel on the robot. Then in void loop, it starts the set of instructions. They're very simple, and basically we are giving them direction or speed, and then for how long. The time it actually controls how long the wheels are turning, and that means that they will cover the distance that we need. Then momentarily it needs to stop to be able to give its next instructions and have enough time for the robot to stop and turn or change the direction that is instructed. So for the turns, I'm using opposite speeds, and that way the wheels, when they're turning opposite to each other, instead of stopping one wheel and making the other set of wheels turn fast. And then we're just repeating the same instructions for the rest of the turns that it needs to make in order to go through the maze. And then at the very end, we're using a while true to be able to turn the motor off, even though the Arduino still continues to be powered. And this is the sketch. So let's move to how the motor responds to this set of instructions. The Arduino sketch for objective number 2 is going to change slightly. We're introducing the push button to control how far the square bot can travel, but the turning instructions are going to remain the same. So to do that, I created a variable bumper button, assigned it to pin number 7. And then the setup, I'm letting it know it's an input pin and to use the pull-up resistor. Then in the loop, in the void loop, I also created the bumper state variable to store the state of the button, whether it's high or low. High is not pressed, low is pressed. And here it starts the moving forward for the robot. While the state of the button is high, it's going to move forward, and it will continue moving forward until when the state changes, because since it's in a loop, it's constantly going to be checking the state of the button. Once it goes low, it breaks out of the loop, and then it continues with the rest of the instructions. They're just the same as in the objective number 1. And that is all that has changed on this sketch. It just repeats the while loop for every time we want the square bot to move forward. Now let's take a look at how this code has changed the movement of our little robot. And the Arduino sketch for objective number 3 is going to include instructions for the LCD screen that I install on the SquareBot. This is going to display messages from the Arduino board. And the instructions that I have from objective number 2 are not going to change. We just need to add the VEX LCD.h to include it in the code, as well as needs to be added using the sketch import library, add library, so the instructions that I use are understood by the Arduino board. Then I created the LCD instance to use to send instructions to the Arduino board through the Arduino board to the LCD display. And the setup, the LCD display needs to be initialized, as well as the setup, the communications with the serial port. Then it's a good habit to get into clearing the LCD of any characters that they might be stored from the last time it was used. And as a test, I am sending the Hello Mechatronics string, and is using display next LCD string command to be able to do that. Then we're going into the void loop, and it's just a series of methods of sending strings and characters to the LCD display to display when it's running. And as you can see, the rest of the instructions are still the same from objective number 2. As always, every time I send a message to the LCD display, I clear before I send the new one. And that is the end of the objective 3 sketch. So let's see how that display works once the SquareBot is up and running.